Hello. Hello.
Hello.
They're complete to me.
Hello everyone, welcome to the i51 Asus ROG DotA 2 Cup. And we're seeing Squirt, Dowda's mix with well-known names such as Banshee and XLM up against Nvidia for men.
I've seen these guys Nvidia for men before. I don't know where I've seen them before, but they've appeared before, possibly at a previous iSeries. That'd make more sense if it was at a previous iSeries. That'd make tons of sense. So, going for the bans very quickly. Nvidia for men banning out Sniper and Lycan. We're on the other end, the Squirt going with the more traditional banning out that Ember Spirit. And of course, invoking banner as well straight away. First pick now for Nvidia for men. Are they going to make it count? Last game, we sort of see you guys. They picked Rubik first. That was like their big first pick was Rubik.
Yeah.
You know, it can work, but they didn't quite make it work for themselves. So, first pick. Let's see what they're going to rustle up.
Yeah, pretty standard Ember and Invoker bans there, though, from Squirt. Two very strong heroes, especially when you have second pick. You don't want to give them away first to your opponents. Let's see what Nvidia for men come up with. See, with the UK Dota drafting scene, if I want to call it that, I don't know.
It's a scene in its entirety because it's peculiar.
I was talking with P-Flax about this, and you know, a year ago, the UK players sort of picked what they liked, and they would ban against specific teams rather than banning out basically the heroes of the meta or flavors of the month. But now it's transitioned and basically converged with EU competitive. People watch a lot more competitive games. People take the game a lot more seriously, and people have sort of honed their drafts, or at least know what top tier teams are picking. So seeing Ember Spirit and Invoker banned out and Luna picked up first, not too bad.
And there's generally like a general course that everyone seems to follow these days. Like, you know, AA getting picked up straight away, Luna's quick pick up as well. Obviously, depending what they're going to run with the AA, how they're going to run it. Obviously, as a support, who they're going to run in with. Obviously, it's early days yet in this draft, in this UK drafting scene.
I regret saying that phrase now.
Okay, so just as from the last game as well, we've adjusted some microphone levels during the break, hoping it's going to be a bit more acceptable, because I was a bit quiet last game. I mean, it's hard to be loud when you're casting Imperium Flax anyway.
It's a bit rude.
I mean, it's like in a good way. Like Imperium
Flax. No, it looks like I'm a bit quiet as well. I mean, we'll have to see. Wait on Twitch chat's reaction, see how many cappers there are.
Yeah. Twitch will always let you know. That's the good thing about Twitch. They're honest people. that should be a slogan, like Twitch viewers, honest opinions for honest people.
Oh,
just don't be insulted easily.
Dire team ban.
Massive spam incoming.
So AA and Nature's Prophet getting picked up there by Squirt. Similar draft to what we saw last game. Look at slightly global strat. Whether they'll continue that, we saw like the AA, Nature's Prophet, Tiny, and IO sort of
10 seconds remaining.
That was disgusting.
Well, they've got somewhat of a global strat going already with AA and Nature's Prophet.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know if we'll see something like Spectre come out next, or maybe later in the draft as a fifth pick. But Luna and Veno, quite reliant on the laning phase. Luna offers that the blessing.
Yep.
Gives that extra damage. So Venomancer can be very, very strong in the laning phase, harass and zone out whoever they're against. I might like to see them pick up a greedy jungle hero, though.
Who have you got in mind? Who's a greedy jungle hero for you?
5 seconds remaining.
Something like Enigma.
Yep.
I mean, if you go for Chen or Enchantress, naturally you want to try and be aggressive on the lanes. Chen can be greedy in some scenarios. He can go for that early level 5, try and stack up camps. But that's so heavily reliant on getting a wildkin relatively early on and stacking and using that tornado to farm.
Okay, so next round of bans, as we see Visage and Mirana getting banned out there by the Nvidia for men. Mirana's, I haven't seen too much of her yet this tournament. She didn't get picked up last game. She gets banned this game. Though, I think you casted the first game. There was a Mirana, wasn't there? I think.
No.
10 seconds remaining.
No, I'll tell you why I'm getting confused, because while you and P-Flax were casting, I went and watched Infuse play.
5 seconds remaining.
I went and sort of just creeped behind Richie.
Sat behind them watching Richie and Cook play. Yeah, I went over there. I went to the bathroom and I walked past them, and Cook was playing some fighting game. I was like, "Why aren't you practicing Dota 2? We're not playing yet."
Oh, fair play. Oh, you don't need to play Dota then. That's
no.
fine.
You're not playing Dota yet, so you're not playing Dota yet. Excellent response. Thank you so much.
He's like, what can I say to that? Like, he's technically right. So, yeah, we didn't get a didn't get bombarded with Twitch hate, so maybe we're sounding okay.
Okay,
The people,
acceptable.
The people can't hear your nod. You're just looking at me nodding really slowly.
It's kind of weird not
seconds
having a
remaining.
camera. I mean, we'll have it set up for tomorrow, our production team says.
5
apparently
seconds
so.
remaining.
Nick says that's in his to-do list.
So you can see my pretty face.
I feel so...
Reserve time.
I shaved just for this. I was growing a bit of a beard, and then I shaved, thinking, oh, I'm going to be on camera, I better look presentable, and then, oh, no one's actually going to see me.
Radiant team pick.
There was no point.
See, I'm one of those people that looks better with a beard, like...
That's because you've got no hair on your head.
Exactly. I kind of went for this whole, like, if the length of my beard's the same length as the hair on my head, then it kind of looks
Dire
cool.
team pick.
I look like some sort of nutter, so people generally don't give me trouble.
A nutter.
Because I look like some
Essex nutter.
fug.
Batrider and Nyx being picked up there. Nyx does relatively well against Batrider in the mid game because that Carapace stops him in his tracks when he's got Firefly up. So he can be a pseudo counter to him jumping in and lassoing someone out.
That's going to be a nice pick up there. So I was just having a little glance at the Twitch chat just to see what's going on in there.
10
Quite a bit of a
seconds
Naga
remaining.
Siren hate there from the is that Duncan S. And yeah, nice little band there as well.
Reserve
we
time.
don't like. Yeah, we didn't ban Duncan. We banned some. Don't give your opinion. You get banned. That was banning a spammer. So well moderated. Durka, the ultimate Dota 2 casting champion and Twitch moderator person thing.
What are you trying to do here?
I don't know. Don't look at me like
Are you
that.
trying to get back into my good books after all you've done to me?
I've done nothing to you.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I loved
I'm
you
watching
like-
my back now.
I loved you like a brother.
Radiant
Vengeful
team
Spirit
pick.
being picked up here by the Dire side. Now, Dowda's Banshee XL, they've been around a while. Banshee is a bit of a Dota 2 caster. He tries his
A bit of.
A bit of.
What does that mean? He is a...
He casts a lot of UK teams.
Yeah,
he
I
does
know,
his
yeah,
bit for
Banshee
the UK
does-
scene.
Banshee's a good guy. I've not actually spoken to him before. Not properly. But he does his little bit. He casts quite a lot of the sort of JD games as well, I think.
10 seconds
Where
remaining.
we're just a bit too lazy to get involved in all that. So kudos to him, to be fair.
5 seconds
Now,
remaining.
On the Dire side, do you recognise any of these names? Because you said you've seen Nvidia for Men before. I don't remember
Reserve
seeing them
time.
ever.
The name I think cropped up at I 49, the one that UMP Flax casted before,
Okay.
where you had like 30 teams. I'm sure Nvidia for Men appeared then. Like they were like the kind of name just stuck. But there were some crazy names at the time. There was like Ross Kemp on Dota and like
Bananarama.
Dire team
don't
ban.
even start me on that.
Bananarama.
Nope, not saying it.
Bananarama.
Nope.
I win.
Yes, you do.
I'm the
You
winner.
win that
Now,
round.
Centaur with the Stampede, Batrider with the Lasso. That's a pretty disgusting combo. Once Centaur and Bat hit level 6, you've got the Blink Dagger, and then you've got an amazing ability to
seconds
drag
remaining.
people
Yeah.
back to your teammates so speedily.
Super speed.
5
But
seconds remaining.
I've got to say, the Venge Spirit pick after the Batrider is a pretty good counter because you can
Yeah.
obviously swap the target of the
Reserve
Lasso
time.
and get them out of that lockdown.
I'm just I got some positive feedback from my levels
Excellent. From who?
from LZ.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
He is the epitome of good feedback giving.
yeah, well, the epitome of yeah, something.
You should have just left it with what I said, Joe. Just stop talking.
You know what it's like though during the
Radiant
picking phase.
team
It's like
ban.
yeah, you got to find things to talk about. And
Talk about the picks then. What do you think about the Nature's Prophet pick?
I don't like the fact that they banned Crystal Maiden
Why?
because she needs to be in every game. She needs a Midas and she needs to be in every game.
Again.
But yeah, what do you reckon for Nvidia
10
for Men? I think
seconds
they've got maybe
remaining.
like one more sort of support, maybe
Dire
like something a bit more
team
key.
pick.
For Nvidia for Men, yeah. A support, most likely. Because Batrider looks like he's going towards mid, Centaur off lane,
Yeah.
and then another support to go with Venno and Luna. Maybe a jungler like Enigma who can sit on the far right-hand side of the jungle.
Yeah.
So that Batrider can jump in and get his Blink Dagger earlier. Whereas Squirt, they've got AA, Nature's Prophet, Nyx, and Venge. Nyx, possibly off lane or support.
10 seconds
Venge, possibly
remaining.
carry here. But then they pick a Spectre. So the Spectre does come up, like I
Radiant
said.
team pick.
How do they lane this is my main question. They could have the Nyx mid, which is a possibility against the Batrider. He does pretty well.
Yeah.
Nature's Prophet off lane. Then they have the tri-lane of AA, Venge, and Spectre.
Yeah,
they can
but-
chain those stuns.
I think you're right there. I completely agree with that. I think the Run Vengeance support, go to Spectre and AA, and that's a pretty deadly lane there.
Do they run aggressive against the Venom Luna? I don't think so. So the safe lane, tri-lane with maybe Venge and AA roaming to try and find the Batrider.
10 seconds
But again, it's a
remaining.
difficult kill to take.
Yeah, Batrider can shut I'm off. See you later. And there's a final pick up there by Nvidia. That's the Wraith King. Or
Now,
Mr. Skeleton King.
Wraith King, when I play with, dupes and them, we run that as a carry.
Yep.
Because he can come back to life and start dominating people. But a lot of the EU competitive, higher tier teams are playing him as a support. Because he's got, like, say for Na'Vi, Puppy plays him as a support. He's got a great stun. He's got decent sustainability. He can come back to life and get stuns off again.
Yep.
But really, it's his aura that helps out so much. The life steal on ranged heroes is ridiculous.
Okay, so having a quick look at those teams now. So over on the Dire side, we're going to see Kira on that Batrider, Gus on the Luna, Blair on the Venomancer, is that M. Britain on the Centaur Warrunner, and I don't want to pronounce this, but I'm going to go Kaon on the Wraith King. Just
Your guess is as good as mine, Chuck.
What's happening?
K-Yawn, I don't know. But over on the Dire side, we've got Fnatic on that Nyx Assassin going up top lane, XLM on that Spectre, Banshee on the Vengeful Spirit, and mid AA Doubters. How did I not see this coming? Oh, it's like an inside joke. Doubters winning against Gronos and some of the big
30
UK
seconds
players.
to battle.
Solo mid AA. Let's see how well he does. And then off lane Nature's Prophet.
What's that? Ward mob on that. Nature's Prophet. Do like a nice off-lane Nature's Prophet. He did really well last game, actually. We just watched Rasta do some really good work with Nature's. Can they replicate this work?
Now, AA mid. This sort of harks back to TI1,
Yeah.
when there was a very limited hero pool, and AA could get an early level 6. His
Yep.
big
Battle
team fight ultimate was
begins.
great, but he'd really go and max his Chilling Touch and Vortex, so they'd get as much magic damage out as they possibly could. And Dowder's not going for the early block up here, but actually going for the block closer to the tier 2 tower,
Yeah.
and failing just a little bit there, Dowders.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But the block on the Radiant side much better there. The Batrider going to have a pretty easy time.
Yeah, that's good for him. That's going to start things off nicely. Give me in mind it's top lane, so we're going to see the tri lane.
Hands up!
Nyx, Venging that Spectre, going up against the solo Centaur. He's going to have work cut out for him if he wants to get any farm. He needs to get those levels.
You've got to speak louder.
I've got to speak louder. Oh. Okay, so I'm speaking louder. So,
I am now speaking louder. Louder.
has been activated.
Spectre on 2 for 2, Batrider on 3 for 1, and already being very aggressive on Dowders. 5 stacks of Napalm up. Might try and go for a kill very shortly. Has level 1 Firefly, but going for a couple of right-click attacks here. Chilling Touch used and Cold Feet, forcing the Batrider back. There's plenty of damage there.
Yeah. Tons of damage getting done there.
But Dowders,
Stacks
Creep Wave
continue.
chasing him. There is Creep Wave here for Batrider to chase.
Oh, he needs to be really careful here. That doesn't go both really low on health.
Here we go. There's the Firefly. This is Dowders probably going to be down and out. Nice use of one charge there. Cold Feet descending back. That's a great counter to Batrider. No diving the tower because of Cold Feet.
Yeah, you can't risk that. Otherwise he will just feed that first blood. And he's going to have to back off down here. Look. Big Grubber Tango and the Napalm stacks have now faded from there. So he's pretty happy with that. How's this Furin getting on? Nature's Prophet, I should say, getting on bottom lane.
That's one of the biggest problems about Dota 2, is the sort of remnants of Dota 1 sitting around. Like, when you search for Furion in the picking hero screen, he comes up as
Oh,
Nature's
really?
Prophet.
I never knew that happened.
Like, in the game code, things like Nevermore, Furion, they're still there, instead of Shadow Fiend or Nature's
Yeah.
Prophet, because that's what people relate to.
Fair play. Okay. Nature's Prophet's really good his work. Getting some really nice denies in. Not that Centaur's getting that much either. He's managed to give himself 2 last hits. Creep Wave's about to head his way though. Gives him a bit of breathing space. Miamona's middle lane. Very passive work. Dell's in that AH trying to find a room. It's the haste at bottom. Top lane. Literally, these lanes are really passive at the moment. Not too much going on. There we go. Nature's Prophet managing to find that haste rune. Denies you from the A at the very least.
Well, bot lane has the most kill potential. The Luna, Veno, and the Wraith King. I keep wanting to call him Skeleton King. Back to that point again. They keep changing these names.
Oh.
But Wraith King with the stun, able to lock down that Nature's Prophet. But their main issue will be not expending that stun too early. So they need to get the Gale and Lucent Beam off first to try and deal damage, get into position, then do damage to the Nature's Prophet before he starts to TP, and stun to cancel it. And mid lane, we didn't see the rotations from the two supports. Wildbird sort of looking at this bot lane. Really nice movement there from the Nyx and Venge, allowing Doubters to almost hit level 5.
Get that early sort of AA ult, that'd be really good for him. Start throwing those ults early on. Get some nice gank potential. Meanwhile, it does give the Centaur a bit of breathing space to get a little bit of farm up against this Spectre. Considering he's had a pretty easy lane, he's only on like 18 last hits. I suppose we're only 4 minutes in. Yeah, they're still telling me to speak louder.
You have to project your voice. You have to shout into the microphone. And they just start giggling like a little schoolgirl.
I can't help it though.
Centaur might be in a bit of trouble here. Nyx has boots, has carapace and stun. His level 3. Will he go for mana burn now?
Let's have a look what's he got.
No, it goes for level 2 and stun.
Is there much point putting that second level in the stun this early in the game? I'd personally put the points in the mana burn.
It's difficult because Centaur has a pretty low mana pool to begin with and low intelligence, so he's not going to have too much mana burn, but he might be in trouble here. Does have boots, get stunned out by the Venge, stuns on the Nyx as well, does plenty of damage, and the Spectre going to find a nice kill there. Phase boot's already up for him. He could go for a Vanguard early on and try and counteract the Luna and Batrider because they've got lots of early mid-game potential, or he could try and rush this Radiance and hope that he doesn't get touched. But that's a really risky move.
A really risky move indeed. But meanwhile, over bottom lane, they're sort of just getting to work on that tier 1 down bot.
It's going to be a late Midas for that Luna. Picks up the recipe now, so not going to have it until about the 6-minute mark. Unless they get this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, that'd be a nice chunk of change there for him.
Catapult did die though.
Not quite enough. And is it into my range?
No.
Nope, not quite. How's this Batrider getting on a middle lane now? So he's on 19 last hits, Dowder's on 9 last hits. Not too much going on there right now. Just farming up. Meanwhile, this top lane, look how cautious this Centaur is. He can't push. He can't get involved in that farm.
It's at this point where you think as the offlaner, okay, I'm not going to get anything here. I've died once, and there's a possibility I'll die a couple more times. He goes into the enemy jungle, but I think he should just go into the Radiant jungle and try and farm up. The only problem is the Batrider's there now.
Yeah, so he's going to get those stacks and get as much gold as he can, really. He needs to get that Blink Dagger up, really. ASAP.
Midas recipe still in the stash for that Luna. I thought it would have been delivered by that courier that's on its way back from the bot lane right now. Batrider looking for that rune. We'll find a read.
Nice to regen pick up there.
And the AA has launched his ultimate. Where did he send that? Because I didn't see that. Obviously didn't actually find anyone to kill them. 6-minute Midas on the Luna, and Smoke's picked up by the Centaur. He's almost level 6, so they're looking for an early gang from him.
Yeah, they need to make something happen here, try and bring themselves back into this game a little bit. Because as it stands, you know, these guys are just, they're being farmed out, and they're just not quite getting, you know, the pickoffs they need. You know, not getting any pickoffs at all yet.
AA ult going to land on bot lane. Not going to find the Luna though. There goes the Sprout from Nature's Prophet, gets stunned up. Benji is here in the back end of play, looking for the Wraith King.
Ooh.
Nice Lucent Beam onto that Nature's Prophet though, taking plenty of damage.
You need to be careful. They want to continue that push though, try and counter push that tier 1 on bottom lane after the damage that was, you know, taken on that tier 1.
If that AA ult had hit though, that Nature's Prophet was going straight in there. Centaur Stampede, here comes the Batrider. This is the combo we were talking about, but nice stuns from the dire side. Lasso onto Banshee, catching the Vengeance Spirit. Carapace holding the Batrider in place for a split second, but Luna, Lucent Beam, Venomancer securing that kill.
Ooh, nice stop there, going down the
Spectre.
AL's doesn't quite land, but could be a dead Spectre anyway. Or is he going to get away?
Well, AA is on the charge now, looking for that Batrider, but 4 people here for the Radiant side. Going to back off with not too many problems. That was a 2-for-0 exchange there. Pretty decent team fight. That's Spectre coming into that fight. I'm not too sure what his decision there was, because using Haunt this early in the game when you're not winning a fight, basically it's a defensive move to try and save your team fights.
Yeah.
Sure enough, use it to try and harass your teammates and stop them doing what they're doing. But don't jaunt back in, because you're not actually going to achieve anything.
Well, that's the thing, you know, the team fight itself, it felt like it was all over the place. Like, it went backwards, and, well, yeah, they didn't get it off, so they didn't get anything from it.
Dire's bottom tower has been denied.
Bit of a weird one. What's this Centaur doing? What is he up to?
He's looking for openings. 18 seconds until his ultimate comes off cooldown. This AA. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Midas first on AA? Aghanims first?
Obviously, it's a hard call to make right now. I've never really sort of. I suppose he's coming from the guy that, you know, swears by Midas on a Crystal Maiden, so I guess Midas on an AA wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Well,
I don't know what's like a traditional AA mid sort of build. Obviously, the early Ags, through, you know, in conjunction with his ulti, will, you know, work wonders.
that's the thing, is there is no traditional AA mid build because it hasn't been played forever.
Yeah.
Mid lane, Stampede onto Banshee, there goes the Stomp, here comes the Bat Rider, Lasso expended as well. Not sure that was entirely necessary, but in comes the AA Ice Blast, not going to catch the Centaur!
The one that needs to catch, not quite. Or as a PFAP would say, not quite the goose. Or no goose? Can we say no goose? No goose.
Nature's Prophet dying to Firefly for some reason.
Venomont's will go down to the hands of Spectre, but Spectre now trying to go on that Bat Rider, but I think I think he's going to do quite a bit of damage. I think he's going to find. No, Spectre getting stunned underneath the tower, and this is a dead Spectre.
Big dives. Thank you, kind sir.
Yes, thank you very much to Mr. Flax, who just.
Oh, Ice Blast going over the top of the Bat Rider. Can it land in time? That's a dead bat. He did buy his blink in time though, so not too much lost from him. But once again, Nature's Prophet was standing here in Firefly, and dying over this, over 5 seconds. He was taking damage over 5 seconds, dying, and he didn't move. I'm not entirely sure why he didn't move, but nevertheless, that was a nice kill for the Bat Rider.
It was a nice pick off for him, and that AA ult though. This is where he really starts to come into play.
Sniped.
What's he spent his gold on then?
He went for treads.
Oh, each got treads, didn't he? Yeah.
Oh yeah, back to the point. There is no traditional AA mid build because it hasn't been played in 2 years basically. What people used to do was go for a traditional mid build, go for treads, force staff, get mobility, move around the map, make kills happen. But now we've seen AA with Midas played as support, AA with Ag's first item played as a support. So in this mid core role, he's got all of these possibilities open to him and more. Ice Blast going to go down to bot lane. There is no one in range though. Luna backed off already. Stampede was you on top lane, finding a kill on Spectre, which I just managed to catch. They're taking the Spectre down. And with that sort of Radiance Rush that he's going for, 1200 gold in the bank, not going for drums, not going for Vanguard or anything like that, he's wasting a lot of time and money getting picked off like this.
Certainly is, and it's not too much of his. Actually, I'm going to back away. But here we go. Nature's Prophet coming back up by bench, defending that tier 1 on top. What's happening on this middle lane though? So we see the Wraith King starting to farm up a little bit down here. Going up against Dowdis. He's level 9. Where's the hero levels at the moment? So he's joint level 9 with the Bat Rider. So he's on top of the team at the moment.
Well, he's done relatively well in the laning phase. He won his lane against Bat Rider, which is surprising to say as a squishy intelligence hero. But Cold Feet and Chilling Touch did so well to harass the Bat off lane and stop him diving, most importantly.
Oh, so is this a Vendetta Nyx?
Walks past the sentry, but that is a dire sentry, so in no trouble there whatsoever. Finds the Luna. Is he going to go for a kill? Wait for the Ice Blast. It is off cooldown. They could go for this, but he did see the rest of the Radiant team walking around that rune spot. And they've got some nice wards up there as well.
Everybody didn't want to risk it. Got himself out of there. And some nice bit of dewarding there as well.
Venge. No boots. Sentries and observers. Smoke up from the Radiant side. Gonna try and look for a pick off here. Lasso and blink off. Cooldown. Centaur has the Stampede. So they have this combo once again where they can blink Lasso, Stampede someone back into their team.
Can they make it happen? Can they find that pick off? They're just waiting. Don't quite reveal themselves yet. Using the Luna as a bit of bait.
If they're not farming the Centaur, they need to find kills because he needs his blink dagger. And by not farming the jungle, not farming that off lane. They have to do it through kills.
Yeah, and they're not going to get anything down there. Nothing happening at all. Spectre, who's just sitting right back, he's not having any of it. So, Batrider with the Invis rune, so we might try and get a bit of a lasso somewhere, maybe.
Wave of Terror over the top of two of them. Blink from back, not going to catch that vent. Ice Blast going to fly across, but Stampede to get the hell out of that situation.
These Fireflies well, but where's the AL? So
Radiant structures are fortified.
GG is up to top lane, stop this Nature's Prophet pushing. Centaur is the only one to commit to that. I think Luna was the one that cancelled. And that tower is in deny range.
Oh, what's happening here in the middle? They got the lasso. He's taking a ton of damage, but he's not quite over yet. He might even get out of this alive still. Here comes Vendetta next moving as well. Ouch, doing a ton of damage to Venomancer. Stun backs it up as well. That's a dead Venomancer there. Desperate to get the kill down as they finally get it. Down goes the AA. Batrider gonna be next. No mana for mana burn. And he gets himself out of there.
Here comes the Luna Eclipse wasted. Nice sprout from Wardmobile. I'm just wondering now, that Wraith King, he was so close to death, but he had his ultimate.
Yeah.
If he had just died and the ultimate slowed down the dire side enough, they could have turned that fight easily. But saving his own life and giving up the life of two of his teammates,
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure that was worth it.
Well, that's the whole point of it. You know, he's supposed to be in there. Take him on for the
Dire
team.
structures are fortified.
Yeah, but he's going for treads into armlet rather than going for blink or any, force staff mobility items. He's not going for Vlad's for aura. He's not going for a mech. He's not even going for a soul ring. So he's transitioning into somewhat of a carry hero here. So they're going to have Luna and Wraith King doing the DPS whilst they'll rely on the Centaur and Batrider doing the initial movement into these team fights. Get that blink off. Might just finish on the Prophet and 3k up on the Spectre. So this Radiance Rush might just work for him if he can stay alive.
Just checking the my levels again, just very quickly, Durka. Apologies. I've just turned myself up. I don't know if that's gonna make a difference, but
Nobody knows.
So I'm at 100% now. So
It hasn't made a difference on the levels over here.
no, just boost everything now. Let's turn that down a little bit.
Boost everything. But she can't take it, Captain. She needs more power.
She needs more boosting.
She needs more power. Batrider on the rampage here, looking for an opening. Can he find the AA? Can he find the Nyx? There we go. There's the Stampede. Finding doubters on the AA. There goes the double edge stomp and Gale.
Yeah.
Batrider finding a nice pick off.
Need a light.
And that's what I need. That's not going to be great for doubters at all. And Nvidia for men not looking too bad all of a sudden. Doing some really nice work there in this Centaur as well. Just, finally managing to find a bit of farm. He's not too far away from that Blink Dagger now. He's going to get the next minute or two.
Well, neither team were looking bad to begin with, but Luna, aggressive on this Spectre. Spectre might go down here, but goes into the trees. Nature's Prophet here to help. These glaives bouncing everywhere. Lucent Beam, Nature's Prophet. Oh, he's in so much trouble. He just TP'd in. He's going to have to create some treants or Sprout or something to get him out of this situation. Sprout! Sprout! No, the Batrider is coming in with a Firefly. Down he goes. Free kill to that Luna. The Spectre getting caught in those trees after basically being so aggressive. Ult's going to land at bot lane, but not catching the Luna. But in comes Nyx. Wait!
Oh, Vendetta finished just before he struck him. He's going to get himself out of there. If he won, he's going to be fine. And he's going to die under the tower. He's taking so much damage. Oh, that was horrible to watch that with my eyes.
I thought, okay, Nyx has got the Luna. It's fine. He's going to get the Luna and die, probably, but it's a good trade. And then Vendetta runs out as he hits the Luna. What a tragic turn of events.
Oh, okay. So people were just saying that the levels seem a lot better now. So that's awesome to hear.
Excellent.
I blame Nick because, before I sat down to the first class, I just need to adjust your microphone levels. So I was like, yeah, go for it. Do what we need to do. He sabotaged me, Dirk. He was like, oh, I need to tarnish the name of Josho.
Sabotage.
I literally, when I see that guy, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind.
But now we've got
let
double.
You do that.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything for you.
Why you not love me anymore?
Now, with double blink on the Radiant side, I think it was Luminous saying every time a team gets a Blink Dagger, it increases the power of the Blink Dagger before it.
Yeah.
So Blink on the Centaur increases the power of the Blink on the Bat because they can have, 2 waves of initiation in effect. They can have the Bat blink in, then Stampede, drag him back, Centaur, then blinks in and stuns someone else. Because your initial reaction when Bat jumps onto someone is to kill the Bat.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, Bat has Lasuda carry, let's kill them, dragging him away. So you group up around the Bat or close to the Bat. Then Centaur jumps in and stuns the rest of your team, allowing the Luna to come in, and then a third wave of initiation.
But it's interesting because naturally, when someone on your team gets lasted, everyone's just like, hustle.
Yeah, save him.
So yeah, it's an interesting tactic, and it's well spotted by yourself. Actually, that's why we keep you around, DotA.
I know,
because you have insightful.
I'm not just a pretty face. Oh god, he gave me the eyes. Now this Spectre, 3,563 gold, 3,600 gold, 200 away from a relic. So he's going to have the Radiance around the 21-minute mark if he continues farming at this rate. But he's been picked off twice. He's failed a couple of team fights. If he had continued farming efficiently for the first 15 minutes, he would have had it.
He'd have had it for a couple of minutes as well.
He sort of scrambled
and AL's going to land. Ben manages to get a big ulti as well. Centaur goes down, and I think that's taking quite a bit of damage there as well. He's going to go and not quite bench on that Ventral Spirit.
Oh, interesting swap from Banshee there. At first I thought, okay, that's a really awful swap. You've killed yourself and AA. But in fact, it put the Wraith King in range of the tower so that only the AA died. Because AA was dead regardless of what happened.
Yeah.
But the fact that he got the Wraith King kill and allowed the Venge to survive was a great move. And Spectre has trapped himself in the trees.
This isn't the first time it's happened this game as well. I just want to point that out.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Shall we look at some graphs, DotA? We haven't looked at graphs yet, have we?
Oh look, the Radiant are leading. And that's pretty much the Luna with the Midas free farming constantly. The couple of pick-offs they've had here and there. And the tier 1 towers which have fallen because Dire have taken one tier 1 tower at top.
It's an AA heading down middle. Look at it go.
No, he's not Witch Doctor. Now this is one of the most annoying things about playing against an AA.
Yeah.
Venomancer was ready to leave the base. He was ready to go and ward, he was ready to go and gain map control, initiate in team fights, get the damage off, put wards down, take towers. Now he has to sit in base for 20 seconds.
Yep. That's the joys of AA. Smoked up though, going across river here at middle, Mr. DotA. And we see Centaur leading the charge, desperate to try and find a pick off.
Oh, Nature's Prophet.
Oh! He nearly TP'd
Wait,
to a bad
do they know?
There's no reveal. I don't see how they could know.
Oh no! This is such a bad decision! Nice spot from Banshee, but still, Nature's Prophet is down and out. Stun from the Nyx onto the Wraith King, and AA Ice Blast going to catch 3. Spectre incoming here with the Relic as well. Wraith King first to fall. Can it catch the bat before Firefly runs out? He's... Oh! Oh, the Chilling Touch damage from Spectre!
Centaur, down you go!
What a turnaround! I thought the Nature's Prophet knew they were there. The cancel of the TP 3 times, and then he TPs in, gives up his life for a 2-for-3 exchange, but the 3 heroes on the Radiant side that go down, Centaur, Bat Rider, and Wraith King, they're 3 cores basically. It's such a big turnaround for the Dire. Is that Radiance on the Spectre yet? He's got Courier incoming, he's got the Radiance. 21 minutes in.
BKB up now on that Luna. Luna's been pretty quiet actually, we haven't spoken about Luna for a while.
Well, she went for such a greedy build with Treads, Midas, Helm of the Dominator, farming the jungle after farming the lane.
Yeah.
Has not been stacking the Ancients though, which is a little bit interesting because usually with the Helm, the main idea is to stack Ancients and get the extra boost of gold and experience to push you further ahead.
Unless she's just following a build and doesn't really understand why the Helm's there maybe. Because that's something I'd do.
Well, like Helm is for lifesteal and nothing more.
Anything else is lies. Pure lies and slander.
Nature's Prophet trying to use ultimate but cancelling because it makes a nice little flashy animation on his hero model. We've nearly got Necro 1 completed on him, about 150 gold away. And Banshee still warding up but places an observer ward right on top of one of the Radiant.
Luna fighting, so take some Ancients though. Nothing stacked, but it's something.
See, what does Luna go for now?
Let's have a look. Where is she? So she's got a BKB. She's got Helm. What does she go for?
She's got farming, survivability. She's got no real, big damage output. I don't think a Manta style cuts it here when you're against things like Wrath of Nature, Ice Blast, Nyx, Spectre.
What about a butterfly? Or something? I don't know, maybe.
Well, that's the thing. Most of the damage from the Dire side is Stampede, Lasso, catching Banshee, expending so many spells for one support kill.
It seems
excessive.
Yeah, like Gale got used and missed. Can I add? So like a lot of spells getting used there. Really, all you needed was the Firefly, Lasso, and maybe like a Black or something. But
A butterfly would be good if she was against a lot of physical damage. Oh,
yeah.
Can they catch him? There's the flame break, but Sentinel using his stomp far too early.
AA catching 3 of them. That's not.
I legitimately think she goes for something like Daedalus. Because she's got lifesteal, she's got survivability, she needs some kind of physical damage output. Manta's not really going to cut it.
Yeah.
Butterfly doesn't do too much when you're against pure damage from Spectre, magical damage from the rest of the Dire team.
It's finally starting to see the Spectre though come online. So he's got a Radiance up and they're just starting to farm up.
Vitality booster.
So he's going to TP up as the rest of the guys Stampede talking, but not quite.
We've got 2 recipes for Necronomicon for that Nature's Prophet. All of a sudden, Necro 2 ready to go. But when do we see the push from the Dire side? Because we're still waiting for the Vengeful Spirit and Nyx to really get into this game. But 1700 gold on the Nyx, nearly Blink Dagger. Maybe
I
that's...
haven't seen too much from this Nyx yet. Like he's had a couple of pickoffs. Oh, there you go. He's only had 1 kill. He's had 6 assists. So, but he hasn't done anything too big yet. Nothing game changing. We've seen some nice swaps and Banshee on that Venge. But again, nothing, as you say, nothing that's really sort of got them into this game that's made a massive impact.
And they don't have greedy supports that can farm the jungle. Like Venomancer can go to Ancients. He can go to the jungle. He can farm.
Meanwhile, though, Nivea for men looking for a pick-off in the jungle.
No, Joe, it's not Nivea. It's Nvidia.
It's
it's because that's what it should be.
That's what it should be.
It should be Nivea for men, but it's not. That's the joke.
I completely get it. I just made a boo-boo. That was simply me being me.
It's like Dwayne the John Roxon. Your brain tells you it's Dwayne the Rock Johnson, but it's not because it's a joke.
See, I've never had a problem saying Dwayne the John Roxon. I don't know why I said Nivea. Well, I don't know why I said Nivea. But
you know why, but you don't know
have.
why.
Like,
Ice Blast going to launch at top lane. Now he's used to catch Dowders. There goes the Cold Feet onto the Batrider, but Dowders is down for the count. No chance coming out of that live.
Nvidia for men as they push their tier 2 on top.
Enunciate that D.
Nvidia.
Enunciate the D, Joe.
Nvidia.
The D.
The D.
The D.
You're the D.
I am the
top
D.
tower has fallen.
You're the Durka.
Yeah.
You want the Durka?
Don't you know who I am?
kind of a big deal.
Oh!
So,
Wait.
what's going on?
I don't know, but Nature's Prophet just solo died to the Luna. I guess trying to take that tier 2 tower.
Maybe
Centaur on the Spectre.
That's a really bad decision to go on here. Why would you do that? Meanwhile, though, they do find...
That was a cheeky move.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw that.
What did I miss?
One of the Spectre illusions was over here.
Yeah.
And he basically went to this one whilst the Batrider and Venomancer were heading down this way on the river. So then he was able to dagger up onto the high ground and completely dodge their gang.
Fair play, that's good manoeuvre. AM hitting that raking square in the face. He's going to have to back off.
I think Spectre has to go defusal this game. Wraith King, the way he's farming, he's completely changed from a support to now, a carry. 27 minutes into the game, he's got Armlet and Sanj, basically going for Sanj and Yasha or Heaven's Halberd. Maybe a Halberd looking the way this game's going, try and lock down the Spectre, limit the amount of damage he's outputting.
What's his nature's doing? So he's still farming, 27 minutes into this game, he's still in that jungle, so he's got Necros at 2 or 3, so he's got Necro 2.
Nearly 3, 200 gold off it. The main thing, though, I think, is the AA has Ags in 500 gold.
Double damage!
Luna went for her Manta style.
Manta style.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, he's following a build.
Which build is that?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that when I play Luna, it is the Helm BKB Manta build. It is there. Trust me, it's there. It's the same build I follow. Because I swear Luna's the only person I ever buy a Helm for, and I'm like, I should probably stack some Ancients, but I'm just a terrible player and I can't do that.
But I still remember like a year and a half ago when Gyro was never really picked and he came out of nowhere. And people
Suddenly
started
Gyro.
building Helm of the Dominator, thinking, what's the point in Helm of the Dominator? They start stacking ancients, then go and use flat cannon, and then the ancients die. And oh my goodness, that's an amazing idea!
Yeah.
You suddenly get like 1,000 gold, 1,500 gold. Your supports get a load of experience, boost yourselves back into a game where your lane was lost. But it's very, it's a double-edged sword. You go for Helm of the Dominator, which gives you no laning presence whatsoever. Batrider blinking across, looking for an opening, not going to find anything. But Helm gives you almost no laning presence, no early game presence like a Drums or Phase Treads, gives you that early survivability and damage. It only allows you to farm more efficiently. Treant, you cheeky bugger. One Treant spots out the entire movement of the Radiant side. Here come the reaction TPs from the Dire.
Nix is getting out of there, but Centaur wraps around, can't find anything. And there you go, that's a wasted gank. Spectre's just going to go off and farm their jungle, farm bottom lane. Make the most of the situation, why not? Radiant's burn really starting to take effect now though. So what's he building towards? He's got 2.5k sitting there.
He's going for a heart.
Oh yes, so that's what the Centaur goes. Here comes the turn moving. Double set the Venomous goes down. Party. Luna's going to work now, doing quite a bit of damage into Spectre. He goes down as well. Down as well. Next, my friend. Nice stuff there, catching the centre of the back foot there. Down he goes. Batrider goes down as well.
See, that's the problem. They're focusing Batrider, Centaur, but Luna and Wraith King are the ones dealing with the damage. Centaur and Batrider are basically just the vanguard. They're going in, they're jumping in, and they're forcing the Dire side to focus fire. They're forcing the Dire side to root around these two heroes so that Luna can come in and glaive, Wraith King can come in and stun people out, lock them down, and hit them with these massive crits.
That was an interesting team fight there. Like, none of the right people went down for either team, really. I suppose Spectre went down, that's quite big. I mean, but it just seems like Nvidia for men have just got quite a fair bit of map control at the moment, considering, they're going up against a Nature's Prophet. All the lanes are fully pushed. Top lane's pretty much on their doorstep. Mid lane, it's pushing down. Treant's just holding the line there. Bottom lane's push around a little bit, but the creep wave is in their favour. So they're doing a very good job of sort of keeping the anti-push, keeping the creep waves away from the tower, stopping this Nature's Prophet from doing any work at all.
Yeah, and Luna with 17,000 net worth. Almost 3,000 gold in the bank after that Manta style. This Midas has really helped them progress through this game. I thought, a really greedy build against an AA Nature's Prophet, Nyx, Venge, who can roam around the map. They've got global presence, they can pick her off easily. But they've done a really good job of forcing fights on the opposite side of the map to the Luna in the early game, the first 20 minutes or so. And that allowed Luna to farm up the BKB, enough items to then come into these fights so she can be that... It's like the best defense is a great offense.
Yeah, that's very true.
So they're defending the Luna by being hyper aggressive in different areas.
Yeah, they're going to smoke up and head across river now. Just like that. Again, though, quite a lot of mana was used there. Quite a lot of spells. And now they can do Roshan. They have, I suppose they've got a ward down here. Sort of ward that side.
Don't Luna take this?
I think she's got a spot, she could do it.
Yeah, she just sold her TP to the top.
I was going to say, I wouldn't be mad if she wanted to Centaur picked it up.
Yeah.
Or it's like,
anyone except Wraith.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
And a haste rune as well to sweeten the deal. Oh, and Heaven's Halberd comes up now on the Wraith King.
Haste!
So they just need to push these creatures back out.
They really want to kill that Spectre. That Rider. He actually finds a Spectre. Where did he actually go to?
He's down there on bottom now in the Radiant Jungle, heading back. But he's been tailed by the Luna, but can't quite catch.
Luna has Midas off cooldown, not using it though. There we go. It's so much better to use it on one of the jungle creeps, especially like a big centaur, or Ursa, or the satyr, or one of the alpha wolves, because that experience multiplier. Where we're seeing aggression here. Centaur uses Stampede, Batrider looking for an opening. Not going to find Downers or Banshee who back up.
Looks like they're going to have an aggressive push down middle now, maybe. I think this could be what their Nvidia for men need, though. They just need to stay aggressive. You know, apply that pressure. Don't let the Nature's Prophet do the work that he needs to do. And, you know, it does work, you know. Because at the end of the day, what Nature's Prophet's built is, have a look. He's got an ultimate orb, so I guess we're going towards a sheep stick there. So he can't really do too much to help defend at the moment.
Nice swap there, but BKB used at a perfect time. Banshee caught completely out of position after the swap. And here comes the aggression from the Radiant side. Wrath of Nature not doing too much to hold off this pressure.
Wasted a clip there from the Luna. Didn't catch anyone at all. And now the Spectre's coming out to play. He knows that Luna's pretty much blown everything. He hasn't got much mana. And they've got to back off from that. You know, they've got to pick off there on Banshee on that. But, you know, it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
People asking for me to be louder again, all of a sudden.
No, that was a while ago.
Was that a while ago? Oh, okay.
I think. Suddenly game sound. Yeah, I keep noticing game sounds go loud. I might have to change it in-game.
We'll soon find out. But the good thing is, you know, at least we're sort of ironing out these errors in the earlier parts of the tournament. So hopefully by the time we get to tomorrow, you know, we'll know exactly what's going on. Because
and we'll dress up wearing suits and bowler hats and things like that.
Yeah.
Like the guys we saw at Euston today.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was they looked particularly cheerful,
shouting their football things.
Yeah. Let's hope that their team scores some touchdowns. That was a joke, by the way. You made me do the nervous laugh.
Yeah, I know.
Now you laugh. now we're ripping the hell out of me. Now you laugh. That's what I thought.
That's
back
my
down,
aim.
Durka, back down.
90% of the time when it comes to Joe, my aim is to make him do the nervous laugh. So I say things which make him uncomfortable, or I just look at him in a weird way, sort of. You know that look you give someone when you're an idiot.
It's this one thing I do that I can't help but do when I have nothing to say.
Stampede here, Batrider finding Doubters. Can I take him down? There goes the Sentinel Blink as well. Wrath of Nature once again absolutely meaningless. And I've got to do this now, LZ. Your ult does nothing. But seriously, with the mech, with the almost hood finished for that Centaur, when that pipe comes up, the Dire side have very little to hold off the push. Spectre relies on pure and magical damage. AA, Nature's Prophet, Venge all rely heavily on magical damage. The Ice Blast, obviously not going to be able to be used because AA is dead for 30 seconds.
There we go, looks like it's tier 3s now. Ooh, nice stuff again. Spectre doing quite a bit of damage to him early on in his team fight now. Here we go. Ouch, Venge goes down. Let's see, we've got the A who's still down from the previous team fight. Kick off there from the Batrider and Ray King's sprout underneath the tower. Don't want too much. Double damage, he can come back.
Oh! That would have killed him!
Yeah, that was a
crit, yeah.
Yeah, that was the fear.
Ice Blast flying across, going to catch 3.
But they've got the back. They've achieved what they needed to achieve.
Oh, now it works!
All of a sudden.
The combo happens! Ice
really
Blast
nice
into Wrath of Nature.
So that's what they needed a long time ago. Oh, this Nick, you might get caught out here. Vendetta's on cooldown. That's a dead hit.
What was his aim there?
Was he going to the secret shop?
I don't know, he looked like he walked past it, because he was sort of walking this direction and he ended up here.
He was like
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Going on a bit of a wander.
Yeah.
Now Nature's Prophet pressuring this top lane, takes down a tier 2 with the Necro units and his Treants.
Finally a bit of space being created for Nature's to do some work.
Even though racks are down, the game isn't over.
No, definitely not. It still could be anyone's game. Like, Nvidia men need to take these team fights carefully. But you know, there's still a lot of potential. You you know, this nature province do some damage to this base, break some racks. But again, if they get a nice combo off, it can still be anyone's game.
I just feel like the Dire have been trying to, or have been forced into really, 5v fights more than they should have. Because they've got such global presence, they should be across the map, away from these fights, pushing 2 lanes, whilst the Radiant side are trying to pressure into the base. Because whilst Nvidia from N are taking racks on bot, Nature's Prophet should be top, taking tier 2, taking tier 3. Spectre should be mid, doing the same thing, tier 2 and tier 3. Whilst AA, Nyx and the Vengeful Spirit should be trying to defend the base as well as they can. Because they can always have those 2 guys TP back into the fight.
Yeah. We do see the global damage getting to work. The AL being used just to nuke down that creep wave in middle, just to push that creep advantage for them. Just to give Nature's a bit more room to do some work. But at the moment, he's just stuck on that bottom lane, just to, stop the mega creeps from coming in.
I mean, one of the most underrated things about mega creeps is not just the massive pressure on that lane, it's the fact that your carry can no longer farm that lane efficiently. You're getting less gold, you're getting less experience, you're not doing enough damage over time to these creeps. They're harder to kill. Centaur, Stampede, can we find a kill here? Nice. BKB and Eclipse.
Centaur goes down. Venomite taking a ton of damage there. Baron Rider is there. Managing to grab the Spectre, and that is a dead Spectre. A lot of trouble there. Luna does fire back. Just TPing in now. After Luna under boots of travel, didn't quite notice that, but here we go. They're going to push that top lane.
Bought back to use boots of travel to try and push this tier 3 in racks. Once again, Dire side get forced into a 5v5. Once again, they pretty much get steamrolled. They found a couple of nice kills. Nyx using Mana Burn at the very end of the fight to take down the Luna because she looked pretty safe.
Yeah. Oh.
So Luna buys back but doesn't go for the aggressive play here. Ice Blast lands on the Wraith King. He's got Reincarnation though, so he shouldn't be in too much trouble. But where did that item come from? Hex ready for the Nature's Prophet. Oh, I was thinking he'd go for that.
Couldn't quite catch it, obviously. Those Nature's When you've got effectively there. Yeah, a bit of a wasteful buyback there by Luna. Obviously, as soon as Luna bought back the Wraith, Spectre bought back. And it was like, nope, can't do that. No go.
Well, it was the AA, Spectre and Nyx all bought back. So 3 buybacks limiting the item progression. Spectre really needs to keep these items going. Because we've seen this heart hasn't really done anything. I really would have thought Diffusal Blade up against the Wraith King to try and limit that reincarnation from coming back up.
Yeah.
Because Wraith King does a ton of damage in these fights. And he's almost got an AC. 300 gold away from that. 500 gold.
Let's see what they can make happen here.
DD Luna.
Oh, I didn't realise the DD, yeah.
On some heroes it's quite hard to tell because that blue effect gets lost in the hero model.
Anyway, yeah. I'm going to blame the blue twinge.
Blame Valve. It's all Valve's fault.
Not again, Bobby.
Nice blast.
Hey, oh, is it going to... catch? Yeah.
No, well, the trail caught Luna, so the fans are on, but not the actual blast itself. That just looks like an easy rack. Fortification is available for the Dire side. In comes Nyx. He's just stomach for Baron, but Stampede. Can I catch someone out? Here comes the Eclipse. Demolishing Banshee. Synatic in a lot of trouble as well, but Excellent comes back in. Spectre has to back off. And easy racks for the Radiant side, I've got to say.
Yeah, not much they can do there. It's all about that. The second rack goes down, they might have put it to the head. Back when I was trying to pick on down Spectre. Could be a damage Spectre. Yeah, Spectre go down here. I don't think they can do it.
And a courier.
And a courier. That's got to be a huge control. There's no way they can come back from this. 2 racks are down. Spectre's down for 85 seconds. He's not got buyback. These guys all of a sudden are very limited on what they can do.
The courier was only delivering a TP to the Spectre. That's all it was, and it died.
I might just do the nervous laugh because I don't know what to say about it.
Unexpected decision there. Banshee does have swap available, only level 1 though. Sitting on level 10. 42 minutes into the game and you've got a level 10 Vengeful Spirit. And this goes back to what I was saying. Oh, he uses a swap on the Wraith King. Nyx's going to get a double impale. And comes the Sprout, but those glaives bouncing between the tower and the heroes.
Dire's top
So
tower
much
has
damage they can't
fallen.
escape the glaives.
Oh, the double edge of the Centaur!
Damage.
it goes back to what I was saying 20 minutes ago. These two supports on the Dire side aren't greedy, they can't farm, they can't get back into the game, they rely on kills and lockdowns so heavily that if the Spectre doesn't get rolling, if the Nature's Prophet can't rat hard enough, the AA, Venge, Nyx are going to be almost useless. Whereas the Wraith King, he was given farm priority 15 minutes into the game, got an armlet very early on, the Luna was allowed farm on bot lane, whilst the Centaur, Venno, and Bat went and found kills. And GG is called. They know they can't come back from this game. Spectre has items, but is 3 items behind the Luna.
Yes, Luna had 28k in the network. Spectre had 13k. That's more than. I don't need to teach you numbers here, but that's more than double. That's ridiculous.
Luna has the net worth of the Fury and Spectre combined.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. So, well played to Nvidia for men, looking very strong here today. So,
very good name indeed. He even slipped up and said Nivea for men because that's
Nivea.
how ingrained it is.
For those of you that can't quite, P-Flex has just joined us back in the little studio here, and Dirk just
ripping on Joe once
rejoicing
again.
in his pastime favourite of ripping into Joe's show. That's it makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Oh dear. Well, we'll be back in a little while. We'll try and find the next game.
That this is
break until 9.
A break until 9 o'clock.
That's true.
Now.
That is true. So we'll be back at 9 p.m. BST. So that's going to be 10 p.m. CEST. So we'll see you in a short while.
Yes. So don't go anywhere. Be back then.